Welcome to EPG Pathshala and warm greetings to all from Dr. P. Malati, Assistant Professor in LRG Government Arts College for Women, Tirupur, which is situated in Tamil Nadu. Elements of business plan and business plan preparation is the topic of my lecture. The focus of this lecture is to enumerate the essential elements of a business plan and to discuss the methodical observation and preparation of a successful business plan. A business plan is a precise outline sketch of the entire business to be pursued. The size of a business plan varies with respect to the nature, purpose, and investment plans of a business. While some business plans run to 10 pages, quite a few business plans run even to 100 pages. This corresponds to the holistic structure of the business proposed for progress. Whether small or big, every business necessitates a perfect strategic plan for two significant reasons, namely comprehension and validation prior to execution. This helps both the entrepreneur and the financier to understand the scope and potentiality of the business. Now, let us look into the fundamentals of a business plan. The Entrepreneur magazine states that a typical business plan comprises 15 to 20 pages on the whole. All business plans consist of formal portions like table of contents and title page. A complete business plan constitutes usually three phases, namely business concept, target market, and finance generation. Now we have to look into the necessity of a business plan. A business plan is an inevitable mandate drafted with an aim of self-explorative analysis of all facets of the entire business. The utility of a business plan has a few parametric progresses. So if we have to discuss those parametric progresses, the first thing that comes to us is the primary focus on the business objectives using appropriate information and reassurance of the analysis. It serves as the best marketing tool of a business, especially in getting accustomed to business relationships like investors, shareholders, bank personnels, and target customers or clients. Thirdly, it is the best possible means of unveiling the lacuna or the lapse in the planning of a business. Fourthly, the business plans are the best way to consult experts' advice from successful entrepreneurs of the same prospects. Fundamentals of a business plan becomes a very necessary step to discuss here. Every business plan sprouts from a business vision, which further, with the assistance of the right financier, delves into team dynamics for corporate management. Therefore, it becomes mandatory to discuss the building blocks of a business plan, namely business vision, business investments, team dynamics, and corporate management. Now let's discuss what's a business vision. Generally, any business gains momentum in due course of time. The prime factor of this aspired effectiveness, combined with progress of a business, has a strong foundation on its vision. As a matter of fact, the business vision paves the way for the progress of the business by setting incessant or continuous goals and parameters for meticulous observation of the existing societal trends, besides bridging the methods of catering to the customer's interests. Perhaps this helps the company to implement innovative metrics for continuous growth assessment of the business in addition to its prospective extensions on global perspective. Precisely, the business vision serves to be the best blueprint of the entire business and its progress. Now we continue with the business investments. Bare words buy no barley is a saying. Similarly, the utility of a business vision shall be observed only through its explicit execution rooted on the requisite financial support and investments. The best financial plan is the secret of achieving the anticipated annual turnover of the business. The other benefit of the financial plan is the acquired foresight of its potential profits besides its growth chart. Usually, all innovative financial planning curtails the outflow of finance from the firm. Instead, the best investment plan procures all targeted inflow of the finance through its phenomenal strategies. This makes actually the business very successful. The best finance plan of a business investment perhaps even widens the scope of the business by attracting the attention of the additional financial partners, investors, and shareholders. And they take a lead role in the business. Now, let us discuss the team dynamics, which is a very crucial portion of a business plan. The members of the organizational chart, starting from the employer to the employee, need to possess the spirit of unanimous team dynamics for uplifting the business profile of an organization. The coordination of the workers, the appropriate assistance of the team leaders, proper guidance from the management representatives, regular feedback from the human resource department, immediate execution of remedial measures in case of setbacks, if at all any, when informed by product quality assurance department, the expertise of marketing and sales department, the care and concern of customer care division or client service department are the essential functionalities of the team dynamics of a business. Nothing can be skipped off here. Each worker of every section mentioned here is like an essential brick of the colossal building called business organization. If there is a defect found in a single brick, the entire citadel called business will naturally crumble down into pieces. Precisely, team dynamics rely obviously on the holistic coordination of the entire organization, from the layman to the entrepreneur. Corporate management is the next facet which we have to discuss. Corporate management is the promising part of success of one's business, whatever it may be. It exhibits a streamlined administration of a business, besides giving reliable input on managing the company resources and practicing cost-cutting proximities of a corporate. The effective managerial adeptness of an entrepreneur perhaps gets reinstated by the preparation of a winning business plan. Most of the time we speak about winning business plan and the preparation of winning business plan. How to prepare this? That's what we are going to see here. The phenomenal progress of the business actually depends on the magic wand called a business plan, which in fact assumes an indispensable portion which cannot be omitted of the corporate management. Therefore, a business plan has to be well prepared after gathering adequate data and essential authentication for a promising future of the business. Such a plan, indeed, is generally built on a sound business concept that gets simplified through necessary graphical representations compiled with the help of confidential business advisors, because this actually strengthens the entire plan. The strength of the corporate management of a company shows its proportionate progress in the achievement of the company objectives from the top level to the bottom. As a matter of fact, now we are to discuss the segments of a business plan. The significant concept of a business plan is to embark on the business potentialities and its targeted progress over a period of time. The targeted progress is usually achieved only over a period of time here, and it is to be noteworthy. It is not an overnight success. The plan is very essential, that is why. The plan ought to be comprehensive, hence it has to be showing clarity on its intentions. Therefore, simplifying the objectives of the business opens an avenue for a person to gain momentum with all dimensions of the business progress. This description sets a foreground actually which further promotes a clear-cut understanding of the entire business. Moreover, it widens the scope of the business as it explicitly presents the indispensable facets of business like products, services, and targeted customers. These facets are further simplified under 7 indispensable elements of business, namely business summary, business description, market strategies, competition analysis, design and development, operation and management, finance plans. At this point, the focus shall be laid on the strategies of preparing an individualized business plan, further to the elements to be briefed in the consecutive sections of this lecture to make it easily comprehensive or understandable. Now let us see how to prepare a business plan. A business plan is an official agenda written usually in a formal language. It is entwined with business objectives in addition to the description on their attainable methods. It also constitutes the vital data of the entire organization, because it's very essential here to get to know about the entire holistic data of any working organization. So these data actually help the business plan reader to comprehend all essential data very well. This business plan in fact comprises 3 phases, namely business summary, business plan, and appendix. While the first phase, titled business summary, presents a preamble to the business, I mean to say the introduction to the business, the second phase, called business plan, focuses or concentrates on the business description. What is the entire arena on which the business is to be built on? All these things are to be defined in the second portion called business description. Market strategies, competition analysis, design and development, operation and management, all these things are also covered under this section. Ultimately, the third phase projects the financial plans, which is the crucial portion of any business. These financial plans for business are to be clearly depicted or described in a business plan. On the whole, these 3 phases give an overt emphasis on all the facets of the business along with the 7 business elements we have already discussed. Now let us move on to the first facet of the business plan, called business summary. This portion generally serves an introduction to the entire business plan. It usually runs from 2 to 3 pages. This portion shall comfortably fix the introductory arena for propagandizing the entire business plan. This is also one of the sales strategies to attract the shareholders or stakeholders, clients or customers, employees at all levels, and funding agencies or financiers. The 3I formula shall be adapted here to draft this portion very successfully. Here, the first I stand for innovative business concepts. Unless the business concept is very innovative, it will not be very attractive to the reader, or it will not gain momentum in the business market. So second I represents the interesting presentation of the business concept. Unless the readability is found in a business plan, it will not gain momentum once again. So the readability is very essential. If the readability has to be kindled, it has to be interesting. The business plan has to be interesting. So the second I here concentrates on interest. And the third I implies the indispensability of the business concept that is to be narrated. Hence, the effectiveness of the business summary depends on the 3I formula called innovation, interest, and indispensability of the potential business to be pursued. Now we move on to the second phase of a business plan preparation. This is titled as business description, as I already mentioned. A business description is the crucial portion of a business plan. This portion may run from 15 to 50 pages based on the capacity of the business plan to be made. This narrative segment comprises quite a few minute functionalities of the business plan, namely market strategies, competition analysis, design and development, in addition to operation and management. This section exhibits organizational structure of the proposed business plan, who is to be on the top and who is to be on the HR section, who is to be on the head of the quality management section. All these things are to be discussed. So the entire organizational plan has to be discussed at this point in the business description. The designation of each employee from top to bottom is primarily described with a title in this section. This is very noteworthy. Moreover, the duties of each employee are briefed in a simple language for better understandability, in fact, of everyone who reads the business plan. The hierarchy of the entire business structure is titled including the board of directors and members of the management team. The shareholder particulars are also explicitly mentioned in this section because it's very essential to get to know all the details about the shareholders. Whether small or big, each shareholder is considered to be very important and vital in preparing a business plan and to run a business. There are certain instructions to be followed during the preparation of a business description, which we will see now. They are practicing the appropriate formatting procedure of the document, narrating the company particulars in the prime sections, giving the perspectives of the market analysis, pronouncing the company's organizational structure to make it clear to everybody, revealing the particulars of the top management representatives, briefing on the products and services to be rendered, exhibiting the marketing nuances to be followed, expressing the fund request particulars if necessary. The components of a business description, namely market strategies, competition analysis, design and development, further to the operation management, shall be discussed further for better understanding briefly. Now let's move on to market strategies. This is also part of a business description. It falls under the second facet of the business plan. A business description is 3/4 portion of a business plan. Its prime success depends on its market strategies of the business. The systematic practice of marketing strategies to be practiced are to be clearly elaborated in this section. The inevitable criteria of a business description have to reassure the innovative business concepts based on the demand and the supply justification to be appreciably supported by its marketing strategies. Whether there is a necessity for advertising of the business product has to be well explained in this section if the marketing strategy is pursued through advertisements. In such case, the type of advertisement, the impact aspired by the advertisement mechanism on the target customers shall be appropriately addressed in this section. Irrespective of low and high budget marketing tools, the precision of mode of marketing have to be necessarily described at this point. Now we move on to competition analysis. Competition analysis is another component of a business description. This portion is to clarify the maximum awareness of the existing and futuristic competitors of one's business. This section has to be written with the help of the expert business analysts. Otherwise, it will not come out very well. So we need to take the suggestions from the experts' perspective, because the experts' perspectives will definitely add value to a business plan. They possess the corporate ingenuity of prediction, competition market especially, because without the prediction of the competition market, we may not be able to proceed further with running the business. And this competition market prediction actually corresponds to the potential analysis of the business to be pursued. The foresights of the business analyst actually proved to be a boon for the corporate to be emerged in full-fledged. This section needs adequate justification for each argument to put forth in support of the business. Graphical representation of existing competition and expected competition to emerge in future shall also be presented in this section. Now we move on to discuss design and development. Design and development, perhaps, is a crucial portion of any business. The appropriate methodologies of the business design to be practiced, combined with the development avenues of the business, are to be notified here. This portion, as a matter of fact, gives overt clues on the investment plans in the ways of infrastructure, machinery or tools purchase, investment plans on raw materials and consumables. The percentage proportion of investments from the capital investor and the distributed percentage of the shareholders are precisely estimated in this section. In case of the extension services, the funding of the funding organizations are utilized. It becomes a mandate to provide all requisite data about the funding procedure along with the benefactor and beneficiary roles in the business. Now let us discuss the operation and management portion of a business plan. The operation and management gains equal importance as design and development of a business. The functionalities of the entire business have to be explained with the help of the organizational chart presented in the business description section already. However, this section possibly narrates the past with each and essential head of the corporate from top to bottom. This section draws a clear-cut distinction between the employer's past and the employee's rights, bridged by the human resource policies of the entire business. Company finance policies like payroll fixation, provision of health insurance policies, provident fund, gratuity and pension particulars of each employee shall be mentioned in this section. Now, we have actually completed the holistic portion of the second part of a business plan called business description. So the third phase is naturally the finance section. So let us discuss the finance plans to make a complete study of the entire business plan. This is the third phase of the business plan. This phase exclusively deals with the finance particulars of the entire business to be taken up. Generally, businesses rely on funding agencies or financiers. In such situations, all necessary particulars about the fund generating plan of the business have to be discussed in this section. If the mode of business capital generation is banks, then the details about the loan particulars are to be mentioned under the finance plans. The type of loan to be taken along with the bank particulars which readily sanctions the loan have to be notified in this section for any futuristic clarification if arises. Particulars like whether the investor is solely availing the loan or he takes a co-applicant shall also be briefed in this portion. The mode and spells of repayment of the business loan in addition to insurance claim particulars in case of mishaps are to be clearly drafted in this section. So these things are very essential and noteworthy to be mentioned in the finance section of a business plan. So now we have totally understood the elements of business plan and business plan preparation. So we have to move on to conclusion portion now. To conclude the lecture, the actual purpose of a business plan is to make an empirical analysis about the pros and cons of a business to be pursued. It may not be an exaggeration to consider a business plan to be a management tool which ensures all operational milestones of a business. Factually speaking, a business plan shall be treated as a generic business analytic framework applicable for any business before its absolute establishment. However, it may be devised according to the uniqueness of any business proposed. This is indeed observed as a systematic avenue for pondering over the planned business prospects. It would be appreciable if the business plan is drafted in a formal usage language. In some cases, it may ensure several weeks to draft a business plan because they have to sit and think over it and prepare a business plan. This happens due to the modifications of the business ideas conceived in the mind previously and the 3-4 rough drafts prepared This leads to the redrafting of the business proposal when the unexpected lapses are observed. Desirable practices to make the checklist re-examine the prepared business plan. The points to be focused in the checklist are redefining and reassuring them are. Let us now see what are to be indicated in the checklist. There are 10 questions which can be checked in the checklist. Question number 1, whether the business plan prepared possesses a holistic approach, should be tested, checked, verified. Then number 2, are there any traces of the sample business plan adapted from Google? That has to be verified. Then third question is, does the business plan act as a selling tool? Have the business plan taken the expert suggestion? And the fifth question goes like this, have the business competitors identified? Sixth, are the lapses of the plan notified? And the seventh question is whether there is a foresight of the adversities and the mention of the addressing methods or strategies. And the seventh question is whether there is a foresight of adversities and the mention of the addressing methods. And the eighth question is, does the business plan declare the strength and weakness of the top management? And the ninth question is, how frequently the plan has been modified to suit the need? And the 10th question is there a mention of appropriate finance plans? These 10 questions certainly help the one who drafts a business plan to reassure the quality of the business through the strategic measures discussed. I hope you all have found this lecture on business plan preparation very useful. I am happy that you have spared your quality time listening to this lecture of mine. Thank you.